Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 3 of Day 1 of the Super Week. I can't wait for this. My name's Half-Chuckle, and I'm joined by Link's clone yet again for this one. How you doing, Links?
I am doing very well after that extremely great performance by Tainted Mind. I'm excited going into this game with the rivalry of Sin and Avant.
Yeah, it certainly is a big one. It's a middle-of-the-table clash, which has far-reaching implications, especially for that second place spot, which Tainted Minds currently have a hold of. Whoever really gets through on this one will be in contention to really challenge him for that second place. Sin Gaming, they do have Direwolves and Pandas still to face. And Avant, they have Direwolves and Tainted Minds. So as we go into picks and bans of the first game between Sin Gaming and Avant, I can't wait.
Yes, I'm very excited. Sin Gaming, we've seen some very weird picks out of HS247, their jungler. So I'm just waiting to see the next weird pick coming out.
Well, it's going to be a Khepri ban as your first one from Sin Gaming. Completely understandable. One of the best supports in the game, especially with his ultimate. And a Raijin ban as well. Certainly very strong right now, that god.
Oh, very, very strong. The Taiko drums, the fact that you can both taunt, fear, and just do huge amounts of damage with a Solar Reaver. Raijin has very few competition, but the one thing that does compete with him well is Yanis, another great burst damage mage. We saw last series last week that Mouse picked Yanis all 3 games and was able to win with that, so they just want to get rid of it from Mouse.
Yeah, it's pretty much a respect ban there. And then the Thor coming out as well. Global presence around the jungle. A fear for every single mid laner and an ADC throughout the land. That leaves Odin up, and it's going to be a first pick for Sin Gaming. Great flex pick, can go solo, can go jungle, can go support as well if he even needs to. How do you think this one's going to go?
Knowing Fonke, it's gonna go to him. He really likes those jump on top of you kind of top of warriors. So he goes for the Ravens, the Odins, the Amataratsus. However, he will have to compete with the Bellona as well as the Athena on the side of Avant-Garde.
So with the Thor off the table, Athena's global presence become immensely more valuable. Bellona, certainly one of the stronger picks, can really go into a team fight by herself and come out on top. Hombats can be picked up by Sin Gaming as well as the Isis, so a lot of circle ultimates there, a lot of combo potential with that Odin.
Yes, they're really looking to provide the fact that Odin has 100% anti-healing and they can put the Circle of Protection as well as that Fear No Evil inside the Odin cage. Even though Bellona will have the Eagles Rally, if she gets feared out by the Fear No Evil before she can even land it, there may be trouble. However, Nua, someone who can actually get out of that cage with her ultimate, may be an interesting pickup to try and deal with the burst damage coming out from the side of Sin Gaming.
Well, technically she doesn't get out of the cage, she just banishes herself for a few seconds. But it's still better than what most mages can do. Geb going to be banned away. Having the Athena as on the table as well as a Khepri ban, Geb was obviously going to be the next best support. Medusa banned away by Sin Gaming. Bit of a strange one considering they don't have an ADC of their own. It makes sense when you think about the fact that they have Athena on the side of Avant.
I'm surprised Chiron didn't get picked up instead of the Bellona, because if you have Athena and Chiron, the amount of aggression in lane is insurmountable. However, Sobek getting banned out as they have seen Fonke play that in the past, and they just don't want Fonke picking it up.
And the Hui ban coming out as well from Sin Gaming. So 2 ADCs banned away from Sin, and Avant decided to ban away 2 Guardians. Meaning if this Odin does go to the support role, those are 2 wasted bans and a very clever coup by Sin Gaming. Neith's going to be picked up by Avant, incredibly safe, incredibly dominant lane presence there. And that confirms double global presence from that duo lane.
Yes, and not to mention the fact she can backflip out of the Odin cage, and usually your leap can be used for damage. Neath backflip, you see it as very much a defensive kind of tool. You don't see it as something you want to aggress with. However, Sylvanas getting picked up on the side of Sin Gaming. A very surprise pick. This will be going towards Horizon, confirming Fonke will playing that Odin in the solo lane, combined with the Rama in the ADC role.
And the final pick is going to be Amaterasu. Really, that puts Bellona in the jungle, doesn't it? Because Amaterasu is more known for the solo lane and Bellona more that flex pick. Though, it'd be interesting to see how Odin does against the Amaterasu. Amaterasu does have a silence, and that could play a huge factor in this matchup.
Well, we'll just have to find out as we are now going to head into this game and see who will win, Avant or Sin.
Yes, indeed, Sin Gaming. You may notice there's a bit of a roster swap going on, but Sin Gaming there, 4K in the solo lane with Odin, HS247 in the jungle with Hombats. Empty Wolf going to be playing the mid lane this week on Isis, and Horizon and Temple Wolf, the duo lane of Sylvanas and Rama.
And on your side, on the right-hand side of your spectator, you are under the banner of Avant-Garde. We have El Chuckles in the solo lane playing the Amaterasu. We have Liquid Renegade playing the Bellona in the jungle. In the mid lane, we have Mouse on the Nuwa. And your duo lane comprises of Tomahawk and Rob Diggity on Athena and Neath, respectively.
Already there are 7 wards out, 4 on the side of Sin Gaming, 3 on the side of Avant. People really want to know if anybody's going to be trying for those mid harpies. Especially if you have a look on the right hand side right now, Sin Gaming have placed a ward both aggressively and defensively. Meaning if Avant even so much as sniff those mid harpies, Sin Gaming are going to know about it.
Yes, especially due to the fact they have Fonke, who, with that lunge, plus you have the overhand smash from Hunbat, can easily clear mid-camp. However, Avant are still, because they have both Bellona as well as Amaterasu, 2 very tanky warriors early on. Amaterasu going into the Death's Toll, ensuring she can actually get quite a bit of sustain out of her auto attacks. And even though they did put the walls down, Avant will be picking up these mid-camps.
Well, at least Sin Gaming will know that those are going to be down, so there's no reason to rotate over there. Basically, they need to contest those left side walls to make sure that they get them. Meanwhile, you see, I do like the fact that Fonke on this Odin has not gotten active just yet. If he manages to get back to a base and get back to lane without needing that teleport, he can go into a blink earlier on and start to terrorize Mouse in this mid lane.
I agree to an extent, but I feel like if a solo laner picks up a teleport, you kind of have the obligation to also pick up a teleport, otherwise you just don't have that global rotation. Especially due to the fact they
Liquid
don't
Renegade in the middle lane taking
mid lane.
so much damage, and HS247 picks up first blood. Liquid Renegade caught by Spirit Ball, and just the damage rained down upon him.
ISS level 2 is one of the strongest in the game. There is not much that could be done about that. And even without a red pod, they were able to secure that kill. Mouse trying to steal away the mid harpies, trying to use that fog and was forced to use the fog to get away.
Yeah, in a very important game, Sin Gaming getting the first blood is going to do massive amounts of boosting of their confidence. Avant, they need to try and find something in some form of a response, and quickly there to stop the hype train going on for Sin Gaming.
However, over in the duo lane, Horizon applying a lot of pressure onto the duo lane.
Oh, and Tomahawk getting so low underneath that tower. I think the curse was activated there by Tomahawk. It was indeed just to try and provide some space control for himself. But Rob Diggity and Tomahawk, in a lane which he would think would be out pushing, is sat on the tower.
Well, due to the fact that Horizon playing that Sylvanas will have those constant heal with the Wisp, as well as he has that nice AoE auto attack, there is not much Avant can do except stand on tower, use that Spirit Arrow and Shield Wall to deal with the lane. Horizon trying to find that grab there, not able to find it.
Meanwhile, in the solo lane, 4K and El Chuckles just trading a bit of blows. El Chuckles actually coming out on top as we go back over to the mid lane. See HS247 and Edgewolf just come back into lane aggressively, but there's nothing Mouse and Liquid Renegade can really do about it.
Yes, both teams have a very aggressive lineups early on, so they're both trying to find teamfights and edge out that little bit of advantage. In the duo lane, we see both Horizon and Temple have had hit 4, while Tomahawk and
but meanwhile on the solo side, El Chuckles is trapped in a cage. This is not a good place for him. Actually, 4K dash jumping into tower. El Chuckles going the completely other direction and juking out 4K completely. First blood, that solo lane has been dropped.
Oh, that was an incredible, great job there by Chuckles to like project the fact that he knew Odin would bird bomb, and he just used that teleport right back into lane. Like nothing has happened. Odin, yep, forced into that teleport, forcing to compete with the fact that Amaterasu is already back in lane and wants to apply pressure.
That's got to be good news for Mouse, as he doesn't have to worry about any Blink Odin shenanigans coming out from the jungle. HS247 on that home bats has hit level 5, so do expect that Fade to be able to come out any second in the next, I'd say, minutes.
However, they do have to be careful as Mouse does have the purification plus the fire shards online. So if they aggress a little bit too early and a bit too much, Liquid Renegade can just come back and hit hard with that Eagles rally. Interestingly enough though, in the duo lane we see Temple hasn't gone the usual start. We see it's Dev's Toll into tier 1 boots, normally more of a solo lane kind of start.
Well, Rama isn't really considered an early game ADC, more of the late game hyper carries that you sort of talk about with your Shibbolonques, with your Hu Yis. So really, and doesn't really need that transcendence. With his recent buff coming through, where his Astronaut only costs 20 rather than a 25 mana, he's a lot more mana efficient in lane. So doesn't really need that transcendence, and this Death Toll will allow him to sustain in lane quite effectively against the Neath.
Over in the solo lane though, HS247 and Fonke trying to get a gank onto the Amaterasu, but with that movement speed passive on armor, she is able to easily get away as she already has the Warrior Turbo.
The dank gank unfortunately did fail. Right side mid harpies, they went over the side of Avant. Left hand side looks like they're going to be uncontested just for now. Both teams know that they have respawn, but meanwhile, Humbat's coming up from behind him in the mid lane. Finds a two-man Fino Weevil. Mouse speeds a bit, force Liquid Renegade going to come back on top of the Humbats. Over the top with Eagles Rally, finds a three-man stun. There goes the Wrath of Terror as well as Stuck on Protection to go try and turn around a Liquid Renegade. Can they find the kill? The curse has been activated from Tomahawk. The solo laners are rotating as well. The cage is not available to Fonke's back up now. Can they find the kill to him? They can indeed. The cage has been dropped. Meanwhile, Temple Wolf on the rotation finds him with the Asperage.
That was an extremely great snipe there by Temple Wolf. As Empty Wolf is falling quite low, as El Chuckles is going very deep, using that Mirror Heavenly Reflection, and that will be the kill on Empty Wolf.
Oh, the Nature's Grasp just off the mark from Horizon. And that's a big fight for Avant, a 2-for-1 win in their favor. They're pulling the gold slightly back. It's still at that 450. No power potions means that's a raw 450 gold lead. And, well, at this point in the game, it's not the end of the world.
If we have a look at builds though, Odin has actually started building into the Reinforced Shoes. This is a Fonke classic, as he is a player who finds that Reinforced Shoes is very much a good value pickup, as it gives you that extra bit of help as well as crowd control reduction, which is very handy while you're inside that Odin cage and trying to apply damage.
Oh,
Also, due to the fact that...
He's gonna get ganked again in the mid lane. He's just gonna get out though, as, well, there's no toll coming up from Tomahawk.
However, over in the solo lane, the cage has been dropped.
El Chuckles, he's gonna be fine completely. Fonke doesn't really have the damage to take him down from that half HP, because he's already used his bird bomb to take him down to that half HP.
However though, speaking of damage, we see that Isis has already started building into the Doom Orb, one of the few gods in the mid lane who I say can actually build a Doom Orb. Even though you wouldn't consider her escape the best, since it's just a movement speed increase if she's moving backwards, it is still enough to easily get her out of teamfights, plus the fact there is going to be Wisp as well as the Circle of Protection to help heal her out. She should be easily able to maintain these Doom Orb stacks throughout the game. And while we're looking at item builds, Sylvanas as well as Athena going into the Traveler's Shoes, very much needed on Sylvanas. Sylvanas' major weakness, he's like a tree. He's very tanky, but he's very immobile. If he's caught out, he can be killed quite easily. Like a wood hunter using an axe on a tree. Even though it takes some time, eventually you can knock over the tree.
A bit of a grouping over here for the right side mid RP's 4 versus 4. And that's a good taunt. There's a great well, just so much going down by the cage is coming down as well as Fino Evil. Horizon going to be the next one to fall. El Chuckles picks him up as well. Empty Wolf, he's wondering what the hell just happened. As the HS 24/7 just had to get out of the dodge. Liquid Renegade diving the tower. And Avant Garde, they find 3 kills in the blink of an eye.
Having a look at the grass now, we're now starting to see an actual lead popping up as Avant have a 2,000 experience lead, a 1,000 gold difference. And even though I thought Sin had the better lineup, again, both teams have very strong team fight and proving the Eagles rally is better than an Odin cage.
Well, they just got completely caught out in the jungle there by a triple taunt from Tomahawk. We didn't see a great showing from Athena in the last game, but this time you're showing the real power of what this god can do.
Yes, Tomahawk and Rob Diggity being brothers have very much good communication, so if Athena needs to leave lane, she can easily communicate it. They have very good skills together. And due to the fact that Athena has that global ultimate and has been able to keep him levels, it's actually 1 level ahead of the Sylvanas with 4 assists. She is doing very nicely, building into the Breastplate of Valor to lower the cooldowns even more.
Well, since Avant Garde currently have a slender lead, what I would like to see, I'd like to see them place more aggressive wards, maybe in the enemy jungle around their buffs, and look for the invades, look to deny Sin Gaming some more experience, because Sin Gaming have quite an early game focused lineup apart from the Rama. They need to try and shut it down a bit more.
Yes, there isn't really much they can do, as they are going to have to apply quite a bit of pressure to deal with this lane. However, we're going to have to pause as I have hit stasis mode, meaning we're going to have to take a short technical break.
Hello, thank you for sticking with us through that break. We are back with Sin Gaming versus Avant. You can see Avant currently 5-2 kills in the lead and currently hold just under a 1k gold lead as Sin, Horizon, and Empty Wolf going to get ganked here. Double taunt coming in as well as the stun from Nuwa. Well, Breath of Terror as well as the Fatal will come down. Mouse going to pick up Empty Wolf. And now Liquid Renegade turning his attention to Horizon, who's super low and doesn't have any movement abilities.
Horizon having to back up there while Fonke is looking to see if he can get any cleanup whatsoever around that Gold Fury area. However, he does decide to back off and is now just going to wait patiently in the mid lane. El Chuggles, though, is also rotated over.
And he's going to get plugged into tower. Meanwhile, the itch comes down to Tomahawk. They're looking for the support. He can't get out of the cage in time. HS247 credited with that kill. Horizon super low still. Well, Lil Chuck is going to dash away from that 1v3. Instead, he's going to go straight into Mouse with the Shining Metal just deterring. Temple Wolf with the snipes from up in the sky. Clears up Liquid Renegade.
Temple doing a great job so far on the Rama, making sure he's picking up this kill. And the goal,
El Chuckles
in the jungle.
He is
falling
caught out.
HS247. If we have a look at our graphs now, the graphs are slowly going back in the way of Sin Gaming, as it's now a 215 XP lead for Sin, as well as a 141 deficit for Sin. However, they are now starting up the Gold Fury.
Dude, can they take this? Can they steal it? Oh my god, steal it! And that's all down to Mouse that plays again from the mid lane. He's going to die for it, but he's screaming with Horizon's going to pick up the kill. Tomahawk's going to get out of there. That 1v5 situation is not what he wants to be. And Rob Diggity on the rotation to try and bail out his support. And he's going to do just that. Mouse trading his life for the Gold Fury.
That was a massive pickup for Avant. Let's just quickly go back to the graphs just because there was a massive swing. It actually wasn't that big a swing as expected. It is only 243 in the way of Avant, as well as 1,000 gold difference. But now Avant really cementing their place. Even though it's 6 kills apiece, Avant are proving to be stronger with that Athena.
Combat's having to back off these right side mid harpies as Bologna's just there, bullying him completely. Just takes a rotation from Isis to make sure that they secure those right side mid harpies. Blue buff going to get taken down as well. Sylvanas is completely out of mana, so we'll have to back after this to make sure that he can be in the next team fight effectively.
Sylvanas actually getting close to his heart at the Urchin, while Ice is still in the mid lane trying to refarm up the Doom stacks, as she has died 3 times, even though she has had the Wisps, as well as the Circle of Protection. The burst coming out from the Fire Shards, the Shining Metals, as well as the Eagles Rally has just proven too much for Empty Wolf to be able to tank.
And a lot of people forget about this, but the spell magic also gives you protections for how many enemies you hit. I believe at rank 1 it's 10% protection debuff and protection gain for everybody that you silence, so it's quite a lot of protections that you can get from that ability.
Yes, but unfortunately, the problem is though, what I've been seeing in this game though, Isis has been stunned out by the Eagles Rally before she can even get that off, and even if she does get the Circle of Protections down, by that point she's already been bursted down.
Oh, but there's a double taunt yet again in the mid lane. The curse comes down as well. They're looking to just try and kill Empty Wolf again. Really bullying this mid lane and trying to get Mouse in a comfortable position. There goes the Fire Shards, who is low on this map. Mouse kills Temple Wolf, who is backing underneath his tower.
Fire Shards, I love that ability. It gives you vision of all 5 team members on the map, as well as the fact that if there's someone low on the map...
Oh, but Rob Diggity getting ganked is going to be Vayner Weevil, but the beads are going to be good enough to get him out of that situation. But it's a 90-second cooldown versus 160, so HS247 is going to be happy about that.
Isis being ganked in the mid lane, trying to survive. Lovely Wrath of Terror from Horizon. However, the Dazzling Gleam is enough to pick up the kills.
And Liquid Renegade's going to fall. He's got no escape for the tower. El Chuckles might be the next fall, but the tower's going to go down. Good dash away. He's going to dash into tower, take tower chop for his troubles. Tomahawk super low. Can HS247 find a kill? No, he's going to have to teleport away from the danger. Mouse still looking for it. Buys it with the Shining Metal. And also stuns Sylvanas in the process. El Chuckles back on the rotation. They're going to look for the big tree man. Can they find him? The good route. Amount of damage is just about enough. Mouse finds him under the tower. Double kill for the mid laner, who picks up right where he left off from last week.
And over in the dual lane, the Defender of Olympus being forced out by Fonke as he did a nice bird bomb onto Rob Diggity, stopping him from taking that tier 1 tower in the dual lane.
Mouse has been very, very good in these past 2 weeks. 5-1-5 currently on this new one. Not a god you see it very often when it's playing it absolutely fantastic. There's a 3-level lead over the Isis.
Yes, I really like the Corona's Pendulum pickup. It just means your Fire Shards are up more often, your Clay Soldiers are up more often, and your Shining Metals just up more often. Like, cooldown... Everyone seems to be wanting to pick up Doom Orb these days, but Corona's Pendant is still a really good first item if you're going for a more utility kind of mage, in the case of Noob War.
Well, this is certainly a strange pickup from Fonke, the Odin and solo lane for Sin Gaming. He's got the Breastplate of Valor, which is completely understandable, but now it's going into what looks to be a Hydra's Lament.
Yes, what usually Fonke does, he likes building reinforced shoes plus a tier 2 Hydra Star. He then will set it later on in the game. He basically, the way it works is the Hydra Star, if you use an ability,
Oh,
your
but
next auto attack does
Empty
more
Wolf in
damage.
mid lane, just feeling the wrath of this Athena. Now comes the Wolf Reaper as well. It's not going to be enough as Mouse cleans him up with the fire shards. Also hits Horizon and Sin 247. Can they find Horizon? I think they will do indeed. Meanwhile, the zone coming out from El Chuckles actually kills HS 247. 4K can do nothing but watch from the jungle.
And now Fonke just seeing if he can find anything. However, Tomahawk looking to find a taunt. In the duo lane, we see it's kind of a stalemate with Temple and Rob Diggity going at it. In the mid lane, though, we have a cage going down.
I think Mouse is going to have to use that HS Planet effectively. Can he get out of tower age? One more tower shot. Gonna survive. And 4K, he's got no cage. He's got no appeal for himself. He has no leap for the next second or so. So, well, he's just going to get out for fine. But the tower in mid lane is going to fall down.
Yes, this game is really showing the power of Amaterasu, the ability to give everyone around you movement speed. It's huge, especially against the Sylvanas. Sylvanas, as we mentioned, is so immobile, and if you do damage to him, he's in combat, so the Traveler's Shoes passive just isn't active. Every time they engage on the Sylvanas, they can find a very easy kill, as they can basically outrun him to an extreme.
For me, this game is really showing how effective Athena can be at bullying the mid laner. M2 has had zero chance to do anything that he wants, simply because Athena is constantly there with a two-man taunt onto M2 Wolf and Horizon himself. They need to make sure that they are grouped up, but not so grouped up that they're still suspected at double taunt again. And maybe they could find a kill onto Tomahawk because he goes greedy.
Yeah, Athena has widely been considered the best support of this meta simply because of the purification changes, as well as the fact you can taunt out 5 members of a team. 5. You can do between 1 to 5, and that is so much crowd control out of just one god. It is the amount of like game-changing fights that can make the difference between basically Hammat throwing down a Fear No Evil or forced to attack Athena.
Yeah, I suppose you are correct there. Tomahawk still not finished up his Hide of the Urchin. Horizon only has 1 stack on this, so with that head start, still hasn't gotten enough of a lead to really warrant that rush. When will Tomahawk, that breastplate of Valor, giving the 20% cooldown, has really helped him out in this mid lane.
Yes, and now Gold Fury looking to be started by Avant as Sin spotted out as well.
Yeah, the first Gold Fury still has really turned this game into Avant's favor. 4K going to be looking for the leap. It's going to find Mouse. A lot of damage there. The Divine Shard G goes to try and silence some damage. Like a circle protection, as well as a Fear No Evil. Looking for massive damage in this K shake. Trying to find Mouse, and I think they have actually found him. HS Tibbles picks him up. Rob Diggity kills Empty Wolf, and HS Tibbles is actually going to fall down here onto L Chuckles on the side. That's a killing spree already for L Chuckles. Double taunt, 4K. Super low. The Shield's not going to do too much. Horizon falls down to Rob Diggity for the double kill. Eagles running completely off the mark. L Chuckles also has a double kill, and Temple Wolf has to go running away. The hills. He can't fight that as the Gold Fury is going to be taken down by Avant.
And while that's going, we actually see that El Chuckles are actually pushing the lane at the time. So that tier 1 tower will fall to minions most likely while they are doing this Girl Fury. We'll actually check the grass right after this Girl Fury. But that was a massive team fight for Avant. They have a 9 kill lead over them. Having a look at our graphs now, we can see that is a 10,000 XP difference and a 7,300 gold difference. This is already starting to look like Avant, as Sin are just getting walked over by the power of Avant.
And you have to think what this is going to do for the mentality of Sin Gaming for the second set. Considering this is such a big set in terms of how much it means for the qualification of going to the LAN event finals, where they're most likely going to face up against Team Pandemonium. The second game, it's going to be absolutely unreal.
Yeah, the second game, definitely. I think this possibly could go to the third game. Even though it may look a bit one-sided right now, I feel like Sin haven't shown their full colors yet, and they really haven't gotten started. Like, possibly, even in this game, they can still win it. I feel like they can bring it back. It is almost on the point of no return, but they have just enough golds, I feel like, that the kind of golds that they've drafted can make it through that late game, especially the Rama. Once Rama starts really engaging in these team fights with the rest of the team, there is not much Avant can do except crumble.
Well, for me, it's Avant stole the Gold Fury, and Sin Gaming lost the game simply because of it. Avant would then win game 2 off that snowball. If Sin Gaming come back and win this, that's going to hurt Avant pride so much that I don't think they'll be able to come back in that second game. So I see this being a 2-0 to whoever wins this one.
However, Chuckles trying to lazy back.
He's going to just get the tower and try to get out of dodge. Going to have the dash in the Odin cage actually used by 4K. Well, it's on a 42 second cooldown right now, so just throw it out at will.
It is just such a ridiculous ability, the Odin Cage. Even if you screw it, there's just no repercussions. You can now even walk out of it. However, over in the Doyle land, Avant are looking to aggress on Temple Wolf.
Yeah, he's going to get taunted out on the tower. There goes his beats. Force House comes to Whirlwind, and up he goes into his Astral Barrage. Raining down the damage, finding the third shot on Mouse. But he's going to have to back out. He's half health. The rotations are slowly coming in from Sing Gaming. They're looking for the pincer movement, but look at Renegade has spotted them out.
Yes, as you mentioned earlier though, that Athena allowing the true rotation power of Avant, plus the Amaterasu speed buff makes it very hard for Sin to come back.
Oh, awkward blink there from 4K. Doesn't have the cage available too. He does now. He's going to be looking for the cage opportunity. Finds two people, but it's El Chuckles looking for Renegade. Looking for Renegade instantly jumps out. And he don't do cage up there with El Chuckles. El Chuckles finds Empty Wolf, who, well, is died for the 7th time without return. Mouse with the fire shot. Kills Horizon. HS247. Click to follow. 4K also falls down, and again, it's just Temple Wolf, but this time he's being chased away by Liquid Renegade. The taunt is going to come out. El Chuckles, triple kill for the solo laner. The tower goes down, and that's a Dia side and Phoenix to follow.
With 18 minutes into the game, only one tier 2 remains on the side of Sin Gaming. Avant still has all their towers. The graphs are looking very, very bleak. 18,000 experience, 11,000, 12,000 gold. This is now looking like GG for the side of Avant, as they're going to take a very easy game 1.
Well, they're going to take down at least the second Phoenix. I don't think they can end the game here. The respawn timers are just too close for Sing Gaming right now. And Avant, they are low on health on Liquid Renegade and Tomahawk and Rob Diggity at the same time. So it's just El Chuckles and Mouse that have to tank both 5 gods as well as the title between them, and I don't think they can do that.
And now they're taking that duo Phoenix, they can very easily look to take Fire Giant, as 5 minions are now slowly pouring down both the duo as well as the mid lane. Amaterasu just staying in lane, getting a bit of extra farm, as she is already back to full health thanks to her heal from her Divine Presence.
Whilst you may think that these are the 2 best Phoenixes to take down if you're only going to get 2, the mid lane Phoenix is actually one of the worst ones to get, because you can have one person defending both lanes and the other 4 members defending the Fire Giants. If you took the left and the right hand side Phoenix, you could have one person defending left and one person defending right, meaning only 3 people would be defending the Fire Giant. So a bit of a missed opportunity for Avant, but they still take 2 Phoenixes, and it's going to be absolute agony for Sin Gaming to try and defend both those lanes and the Fire Giant at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like I would agree, but the thing is, as you mentioned earlier, the respawn times are just too short. Fire Giant.
Oh, Empty Wolf! Just obliterated. He just vanished. The magic trick for Rob Diggity is unreal.
Yes, not to mention the fact that Mouse already has 42 stacks on that Book of Thoth plus an Obsidian Shard. Those fire shards aren't little shards. They are meteors, and they are coming for the members of Sin Gaming.
Oh, 4K finds a triple cage, but there's no follow-up. Isis is dead. There's Athena Weevil. That's not going to do too much. It's the turn set, and out comes the Eagles rally over the wall. Mouse picks up HS247, a double stun. El Chuckles kills Horizon before he can get off the Wrath of Terror. Rob Diggity going to get jumped on there by 4K, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to get slowed down by that Frostbite Humble. El Chuckles with a double kill. This Amaterasu was just unstoppable at this point. Temple going to get taunted in. The beats have been forced, but it's just writing on the walls already right now.
Well, Chuckles has gone 11-1-9. That is that's just a stellar performance out of anyone, like especially of an Amaterasu. Amaterasu you see as more of a utility, but she's really like, especially with that shin size and the Frostman just applying so much auto attack damage, and her passive just amplifies that damage even more. And now they are looking to take that easy Fire Giant while the rest of Sin Gaming are regrouping.
Yeah, they're going to try and defend this space. It's fine. This is supporting it from the left and the mid lane. The right side is completely pushed up to the Phoenix line. So you have to make sure that they push that up as well. And the Fire Giant's going to fall down before anybody can even rotate to the blue buff. And that's going to go the way of Avant, who take a commanding lead. If we take a look at the graphs just after that, you can see it's 21,000 experience, 15,000 gold. This is Avant's game to lose.
Not to mention, have a look at the player damage chart. If we have a look at Malice, 19,000 damage right now. And the closest damage is Neath from Rob Diggity, and that is 7,000 player damage difference. That is the power of the Fire Shards plus cooldown.
Fire Shard's hard skill shot, man. Very hard skill
very
shot.
hard, especially without, even though there are sanctuaries on the side, by the time it's already happened, Mouse has just been waiting so patiently in these team fights to use at just the perfect moment that Sin Gaming can do nothing but watch as their base is about to be pushed in, and this is going to be GG.
Well, do you use the Aegis against the inevitable Fire Shards, or do you use the Aegis against the inevitable burst coming from El Chuckles and Liquid Renegade just diving into your backline? It's a very difficult decision which Sin Gaming can't make the right decision for, because both of them are wrong.
Yes, it's when you're put into a lose-lose situation, you know you've lost. Lovely taunt coming out from Tomahawk.
And Empty Wolf, he's just fallen down again. He's cannon fodder at this point, as is Horizon. He's not going to be able to get around to Terror off again. Liquid Renegade with a double kill. All three Phoenixes are down. This Titan is at the weakest it will ever be. Eagles Rally coming out. Let's have Phoenix respawn, but 5 minutes is going to take care of that in just a second. Interesting also teleporting into an awkward position. Aegis was good. Up in the air goes Rama. Can he find the kills? Rob Diggity, he can! Temple will actually manage to get the first kill on the Rob Diggity. And, well, this Titan's actually going to fall down before it even matters. GG's to Avant Garde as they take the first game. Can they take the second one?
That was an incredible performance by Avant Garde. Last week, they looked a little bit shaky, but this week they really are cementing their place in the Pro League, putting out an amazing performance for Game 1. I am super excited for Game number 2.
Just the triple frontline coming out yet again for Avant Garde. We saw this last week when they were protecting Mouse on that Yanis. This time, it was just every man for themselves, kill the ISIS constantly, and the game plan worked out a treat. There was nothing that Gaming could do, as all their burst, all their combo potential was just flat on the ground, dead, the second they killed that ISIS.
Yeah, and the Sylvanas really didn't help us, especially with the Amaterasu passive giving bonus move speed. That Sylvanas had nowhere to go but to die.
So we are going to take a quick break as we load up the second game. Be sure to join us after the break. You don't want to miss this one.